Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the pharmacy. We're going to explore all the complex, often invisible systems that are built piece by piece to protect you every single day.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a pretty high-stakes scenario, something straight out of a pharmacy manager's playbook. And believe me, this isn't science fiction. It is a real-world risk they absolutely have to plan for. So, how do you prepare for something like that? Well, it all starts with a blueprint.
You see, a safe and effective pharmacy doesn't just happen by magic. It starts with a really meticulous plan, a blueprint for success, and, probably most importantly, for safety.
At its very core, planning is the first and most crucial job of management. It's that purposeful effort that decides everything, from staffing levels for flu season to inventory control for critical medications. Honestly, without a solid plan, everything else just kind of falls apart.
That blueprint starts with two key ideas. First up, you have the vision. That's the big, inspirational dream for the future. Then you've got the mission, which is the purpose for right now, defining what the organization actually does. You can think of it like this. One is the destination, and the other is the reason you're even on the journey.
And this isn't guesswork, not at all. It's a really systematic 8-step process. It flows perfectly from that big picture vision all the way down to the nitty-gritty, setting concrete goals, figuring out who does what, and constantly checking in to make sure the plan actually becomes reality.
A huge part of assessing the situation is the SWOT analysis. It's a simple but super powerful grid that helps a pharmacy get a full 360-degree view of its world. It's about looking inward at its own strengths and weaknesses, and then looking outward at the opportunities and threats that exist out in the wider world. So, you've got that blueprint in hand. The next step? You have to build the foundation. And in a modern pharmacy, that foundation is an absolutely unwavering commitment to quality and patient safety.
And here's exactly why that foundation is so critical. A landmark report from the Institute of Medicine found that medication errors harm, at least get this, 1.5 million people in the US every single year. That number is just staggering.
So here's the crucial point. Preventing these errors isn't about blaming a pharmacist or pointing a finger at a nurse. It's about recognizing that the errors are actually faults of the system itself. And to fix the problem, you have to fix the system.
The big goal is to become what's known as a high-reliability organization, or an HRO. Think about industries like aviation or nuclear power. They operate in incredibly high-risk environments, but they have achieved almost zero error rates. That's the super high standard that healthcare is striving to meet.
And this is done through a layered approach. You start with quality control, which is reactive. It's about finding problems after they've already happened. Then you level up to quality assurance, which is proactive. It monitors processes to make sure standards are being met. But the real gold standard is continuous quality improvement, which is this never-ending process to make the entire system better, safer, and more efficient all the time.
Now, a solid foundation needs the right tools to build on top of it. And modern pharmacies are using a whole suite of powerful technology to basically engineer safety directly into their daily work.
For decades, one of the biggest risks in the entire medication process was something so deceptively simple, just trying to decipher a doctor's handwriting on a prescription pad. It was, frankly, a recipe for disaster.
But today, electronic prescribing has almost completely eliminated that risk. Prescriptions are sent digitally, so there's no more guesswork about the drug or the dose. It's just a monumental leap forward for patient safety.
And this is an entire ecosystem of safety tools all working together. For example, barcode scanning, or BCMA. It acts like a final checkpoint right at the patient's bedside, making sure the right drug goes to the right person. Meanwhile, you have automated cabinets that work like smart vending machines, securely tracking every single pill. Each tool just adds another layer of protection.
But even the best-built structure will eventually face a storm. The final piece of this whole puzzle is about managing risk, actively identifying, analyzing, and preparing for the threats that are just an inevitable part of the landscape.
And risk can be anything that threatens the pharmacy's mission. It could be a business competitor, a natural disaster like a hurricane, or, even that cyber attack we imagined right at the start of this explainer.
Just like planning, managing risk is not a one-time task. It's an active, ongoing process. You identify risks, you prioritize them, you implement a strategy to deal with them, and then you constantly monitor and update your approach. It's a continuous cycle of vigilance.
And there are 4 main strategies for dealing with risk. Sometimes you avoid it altogether. More often, you work to prevent it. Some minor risks you just absorb as a cost of doing business, and for the big financial risks, you transfer them to an insurance company.
A smart pharmacy uses a combination of all four.
So the next time you step up to a pharmacy counter to pick up a prescription, I want you to look beyond the shelves. Consider the vast, invisible architecture of planning, of safety systems, technology, and risk management, all of it designed, layer by layer, with one single purpose in mind: to protect you.